In 1973, on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, Yom Kippur, which if you don't know, is a day of fasting, is a day of no one's on the streets, everyone's in the synagogue praying, it's a day of rest. On this day, the Syrians and the Egyptians decided to bombard Israel with a surprise attack. This left Israel in urgent need of more ammunition, planes, tanks, and the stuff you need for war. With their backs against the wall, Israel decided to go ask for help from its biggest ally, the United States. The White House responded to the request by saying that we will review the request, however, we will give you an answer if we can help you out in a little bit. This left Israel in a terrible situation because they needed help quickly, they needed help fast, and they needed help urgently. However, due to the large influence that the American Israel Public Affairs Committee, also known as AIPAC, has on the American Congress, they were able to truly get the message across that Israel needs help now and needs help quickly because the Egyptians and Syrians were gaining on them minute by minute. So through the communication that AIPAC had with the Congress as well as the White House, the United States was able to send Israel all the ammunition, the tanks, the airplanes they needed just in time, which ultimately helped them win the Yom Kippur War. Hello, my name is Gal of Neri, and I'm a student here at St. Edward's University. The reason for my presentation today is to inform you exactly what AIPAC is and to try and persuade you to do some volunteer work for them. Having done extensive research on this topic, as well as volunteering for them firsthand, I think I'm more than credible enough to inform you about exactly what AIPAC is and why I truly believe that you guys should do some volunteer work for them. By informing you about what exactly AIPAC is, why they're significant in the world, followed by what I did for my volunteer work, as well as why I chose AIPAC to do my volunteer service with. Then lastly, talking about the future goals of AIPAC and the future opportunities for you guys to do some volunteer work, I hope that I'll be able to persuade you guys to do some volunteer work for them. So what is AIPAC? The American Israel Public Affairs Committee is a lobbying group that advocates pro-Israel policies to the Congress and the executive branch of the United States. Supported by an estimated 100,000 supporters from all political parties, AIPAC aims to improve relations between the United States and Israel. The New York Times calls it the most important organization affecting America's relationship with Israel. AIPAC's stated purpose is to lobby the Congress of the United States on issues and legislation related to Israel. AIPAC has a variety of aims related to improving the relations between Israel and the U.S. through U.S. actions. In addition to direct work with Israel, the organization also promotes stability in the Middle East and a prevention of nuclear development in countries such as Iran. Now I'm going to talk to you about my volunteer time and why I personally chose to volunteer for AIPAC. For my community service time, I was able to personally organize a charity event in which the ex-defense minister of the Israeli army was present to give a speech. So what I did was I basically called different donors up, invited them to the charity event. I set the tables up, organized the seating charts, just pretty much organized the whole charity event, which was pretty cool. Now, in regards to the ex-defense minister of the Israeli army, this is probably one of the most influential and most important people I've ever met in my life. It truly opened my eyes to the meaning of what AIPAC really does represent. He talked about the current situations that Israel is going through with Iran, as well as how the United States military and the Israeli military are hand in hand right now, are in great sync. The reason I decided to do my volunteer work with AIPAC is because I knew it was a very influential organization with a lot of political power, which very much interested me. Being that I'm from Israel, I was very interested to learn more about what AIPAC does to affect the future of Israel. Before volunteering, I wasn't really able to grasp how much importance AIPAC does have on the future of Israel and its relations with America. By not volunteering, I felt I wasn't fully knowledgeable of the different scenarios of how the United States really does affect Israel. By volunteering, I learned an ample amount about the circumstances that are happening in the Middle East right now from experts and very influential people. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the future goals of AIPAC and different opportunities that you guys will have to volunteer for them. AIPAC's future goals for Israel is to continue working with the United States to promote strategic cooperation, to develop sound U.S. anti-terrorist policies, and to share homeland security techniques as well as technologies. Now I'm going to pass out a pamphlet so you guys could see that would help you guys do some volunteer work in the future. As you can see on the pamphlet, you can sign up and get some more information by going to this website I have listed here. And it'll give you more information about the different conferences you could go to. You know, Barack Obama, the president speaks, different senators, different congressmen. They all hold different speeches for AIPAC. It'll also give you some different dates where you can do some volunteer work for them.
How long has AIPAC been involved with?
Since 1953. That was the date it was founded, pretty much. And it was founded by like 5 to 10 different people. Who just truly felt passionate that Israel and the United States need better connection. To conclude my presentation, by informing you about what AIPAC is and why they're significant, by talking about my experience volunteering for them, and lastly, talking about their vision as well as your different volunteer opportunities, I hope that you guys have I hope you guys understand how important it is that you strongly consider doing some volunteer work for them, because you really do truly get the feeling that you're a part of something bigger than yourself. Thank you, and I'm now open to any questions you guys have.